I'm John Schneider. I'm the Executive Director here at Youth and Family Services. We have been serving here in the community for over 50 years. In fact, just this year we celebrated our 50-year anniversary of serving kids, serving youth, and serving families here in our community. We started 50 years ago as a children's shelter for kids who had been removed from their homes due to abuse and neglect. Back in the 1970s, there was no place for a child like that to go. If a police officer could not find a place, a grandparent, an aunt and uncle, something like that for the child to go to that night, in the 70s, that child was actually being taken to the county jail and spending their first night in custody on a cot in the county jail. Now, of course, the community, as they found out about this, there was a big uproar about we can do better than that in our community. We can do better for our kids, for the future generations. So that's how Youth and Family Services was started. There was about 10 people that came together. They raised some money and they bought a house and they started our very first shelter. Those people later became our first board of directors as a nonprofit charity in our community and hired the staff and began building what we call our program, our continuum of care programming model. So here at Youth and Family, we're all about breaking cycles within the community through our continuum of care programming. The first program we added to complement our shelter was clinical services. We knew that children coming into our care needed help as they worked through their trauma and dealt with the things that they had experienced. So we started doing counseling services within our shelter. Next, we started swimming upstream and working with kids in the schools, working in alternative schools to come in contact with kids that were still residing in their homes, but there were some family challenges going on that families frankly just needed some help with. They needed someone to walk alongside them. Today, here 50 years later, we're doing those school groups in over 20 different schools across 3 different counties here in Oklahoma as part of our prevention efforts. So we rocked along with shelter and counseling for about 20 years, and then we identified another missing piece in our continuum of care, and that's foster care. You see, we had kids that were coming into our shelter that needed a place, a long-term place, a stable home to take placement of those kids. We partnered with DHS here in Oklahoma, received the very first pilot contract in Oklahoma to do foster care independently. And today we recruit families and we do recruitment in our own way, we do placement in our own way, we do support in our own way, and we treat those families like kings and queens as they support children. Because of that, our placement stability rate of kids that are placed in foster homes is over 90%. What that means is 90% of the time when we put a child in a foster home, they will stay there. They will maintain placement as long as they need to be until they become adoptable or until they're able to safely just go back home to their families. The final piece of our continuum of care that we've done for several years now is transitional living. We work with kids that are 18 to 21 as they transition into independency. These are kids that have aged out of state custody. These are kids that have been kicked out by their families at the age of 18. And these are kids that are homeless, sleeping in tents at the lake. They're sleeping in cars behind Walmart. These are the kids we serve. We currently have 9 kids like that were formerly homeless, that we are working to find employment. We're working to find stability. We're working on relationship goals to maintain stable and healthy relationships in their lives. This is who Youth and Family Services is at our core. So a few years ago, as you know, we all experienced a pandemic. One thing we learned through the pandemic is that when we do not have access to kids in schools, when we are not able to go in and do life with children and families in the school setting, we're not able to do the work that we do. We're not able to support them. We don't have the ability to walk alongside them when school is not in session. That was a challenging time for us. However, what we realized is that happens every year. Every year, school ends in May, and we have this long gap where we're not able to serve children well. So we thought, what would it be like if we started an expansion project to our services and had an activities wing to our building with a gym for pickleball courts, for basketball, a teaching kitchen where we can do life skills and fun things with families, an art therapy space where we can do all kinds of great things with art therapy as kids work through their trauma. and also 3 classrooms so that we can do the same work in the summertime with children that we do in the school setting during the school year. This will also enable us to do after-school programming all year round so that we can work with those kids after school and also come in contact with their families when they pick them up, providing critical supports to their families. As you can see, the building is beginning to go up now. It's about a $3.7 million project, and we're roughly $3.5 million into that capacity building space. One of the challenges we have right now is a critical component to this building is a resource room for children and families, a room that would have diapers, school supplies, clothing, hygiene items, anything that someone would need to meet them in their time of crisis, to meet them in their time of need, and say, hey, we not only want to walk alongside you in this process, we want to give you the things you need to be successful, the things that are critical for daily life for a child and a youth. At this time, that's a portion of the building that in this space that we have had to cut out because we don't have the funding raised. One of our solutions to this is we have a garage in our shelter. We would love to be able to turn our garage into our resource room so that families, when they come and utilize this space, we can walk them over and they can get anything they need from our garage space. The only problem with this is the garage is a garage. It needs to be renovated. It needs shelving. It needs cabinets. It needs all the things that a donation center would have, and those things take financial resources. Another issue with this is our garage has all of our maintenance equipment in it. Our mowers, anything to maintain our property is currently in our garage. So to do this portion of the project, we will need to build a small metal building to put our mowing equipment in, to put our vans in, things like that, so that that space can become a space to serve people in need. We also recently purchased 5 acres behind our building from the county, and we're excited to have future expansion onto that space. We envision maybe having a baseball field. We envision hay rides out on the land. We envision maybe a low ropes course where we can do summer camps. There's a lot of neat things that we're going to do with kids during the summer on that land. Now, as you know, 5 acres is a large space to take care of. A tractor would be amazing. We would be able to maintain our property, we'd be able to maintain our fences, we'd be able to maintain or pull our children on hay rides in the summer. How fun would that be? Another thing that the tractor would help us solve, we have a 24/7, 365 children's shelter. Now think about it. In the winter times, our staff have to come and go in shifts to work with those kids. That's rain or shine, snow, anything. There's been multiple occasions where we've had to actually pick staff up and bring them here in somebody's large vehicle because they couldn't get into the parking lot because it was covered in snow. We've had lots of times when staff actually get stuck in the parking lot and can't get into the shelter and have to walk through blizzard-like conditions just to serve children. We've had situations where caseworkers have called and said, we've got a child we've just removed from the home from an abused and neglected situation. They need to come make placement of the child, and our parking lot is covered in ice and snow. A tractor would help us solve this solution. We could clear the parking lot, we could salt the parking lot, and enable our workers who work so hard to serve children to get to work safely and do the work that they do. We're going to walk over right now, and I'd like to show you the garage space, show you the land, let you envision what we would love to complete through the help of Kubota. Okay, so here we are in front of our current garage space. As you can see, it's got 2 bay doors, which would easily be converted to a donation center. We could have one door open up for people to drop off and pick up. We envision installing a washer and dryer and utility hookups so we can wash clothes and get them ready for the kids when they come and shop for their new clothing. We envision racks and different ways to hang all that up and organize diapers, school supplies, all of those types of things. And we'll have to install some heat and air in the space, so it's not a place that's in freezing conditions. I don't think this is going to take too much work because we've already got insulated walls and insulated doors, but we will have to do some things to get that ready. Now to do that, all of this will have to come out and go in the new metal building on the land if funds become available. I'm going to walk around so you can see the land. And as you can see, it's currently completely vacant. So we don't have anything done out here. We just acquired the land about 2 months ago, and we're really excited to develop this space and continue our programming with the help of Kubota. Please consider supporting our mission of caring today for better tomorrows. Please consider helping us as we continue to break cycles within the community through our Continuum of Care programming model. Thank you so much.